In this video, I'm going to show you how to use wood putty to fix damaged trim like this door frame that was hit by our movers when we moved in. We're going to use a little bit of wood putty and some paint and have it looking good as new. Let's get to it. So these are the tools I'll be using to fix this door frame. First, I'm going to puncture the tube of this DAP plastic wood. And then I'm going to just show you what the consistency of the product using my 5-in-1 tool here. And it's kind of like peanut butter. It has small bits of wood fiber in it, but it spreads pretty easily and then it dries. It uses some solvents in the product, so you might want to be careful about this. Read the label and use it accordingly. I'm going to show you the back of the label here just real briefly. You can pause it if you want to read it, but not too hard to work with. And what we're going to do is just squeeze it right on the surface of the wood here. And you can see I didn't do any kind of prep on it, really just wanted it to adhere right to the fibers of the wood that were damaged when those movers came into our house. And we're going to push it in there pretty tightly and then smooth it over like peanut butter into the areas of damaged wood. And it takes a little practice to do this. I'm not the best at it, I suppose, but just kind of smooth it over a little bit, like a butter knife, like a peanut butter knife, I suppose, and try to get it everywhere in that wood so it has full contact. You can see a little bit that there's some cracks there that need more material in there. So I'm going to try to push it down into those areas. And it's just kind of a take it as you go and work it through. The key thing here is that you don't want too much product applied at once. You do want it to be adhering to the wood, but you don't want too much at one time. It will take a long time for this to dry. It should only take about 15 minutes, which is what it says on the package, to 30 minutes. But if you put a lot on there, it will take much longer. And so put it on in thin layers and spread it on. And those layers should add up. Once you have more than one layer, then you want it to be bigger than the damage that was created by, in the wood, essentially. And so here I am just kind of working through it and getting it on there and then smoothing it down. And this is actually at double speed right now, so hopefully it's going fast enough for you without, skipping over too much. But I kind of work it, and then I use my fingers here. Like I say, maybe better to use gloves, but I kind of wanted that to get the material into the wood, to push it down enough into the wood that it would adhere and stick. And then I kind of carve out a little bit so that it follows the profile of the trim. So we're going to finish up this stage of it right now, and then we're going to switch over to about an hour later. I come back and scrape off a little bit of what had dried on there, and you can see that it's gotten a little bit drier, and so it hardened a little bit, but it's pretty easy to take away excess. So that 5-in-1 tool is a real handy tool, and I'll put a link to that and also to the wood putty and also the sanding block that I'll be using here in a moment in the description below. But then I add more, want it to get on there, want it to be bigger than the damage that was, the wood that was taken away, and then work it in again. And this is at 5 times speed. So yes, I'm going super fast. It didn't go quite as fast as this in real life, but kind of pat it down and smooth it over and get it all in there. And then after that dries, we're going to let this dry, and we're going to use a 3M drywall sanding sponge. And so this is a fine sanding sponge, and this works it down really easily. You don't need to have something with a higher grit or a more coarse grit. This is a real fine grit sanding block, and you can see how it's taking off that material really quickly. I like this block because it will get into those corners where the right angles are. It'll get right in there, and you have that fine tip right there that I'm using. But even if you have just a part that is right against a corner that's a right angle, just the side of the block works great in the corner of the block. And so you can work it down and make it really fit the profile of your trim very easily. And it goes fast. And yes, this is at 3.5 times right now. I'm showing you it's going faster than real, but you can see it's not too much effort to get that down to what you want. And so here's kind of where my final result was. Is it perfect? Probably not. A lot of you, I'm sure, will do a lot better than I am doing here, but it was good enough for my needs. And then what we're going to do is just paint it. And this stuff is paintable right as it is. You can put primer on it if you want. The paint I had kind of a primer paint. And so I put 2 coats of paint on it. There's one coat, and now we're doing the second coat, and kind of had that little spot there that I wanted to cover up too. And that's kind of how it ended up. So that's how you repair trim work around a door frame or other areas of your home with wood putty. If you enjoyed this video, you might enjoy this next video I have on how to protect your garage walls from your car doors. I hope this video helped you. If it did, the best way to thank me is to comment, like, or subscribe. Thanks for watching.